Doctor Who's future just took a terrifying turn, not with a villain, not with a regeneration, but with silence. Weeks after Season 15's finale, no announcement. No renewal, no plan. Just one quote, quietly posted to a forum, from someone who knows this franchise better than anyone. And what it says might change everything. Because while fans debate the twist ending, while the fandom tears itself apart over Billie Piper's regeneration, while Disney and the BBC remain completely silent, a respected insider has stepped forward, and his words are clear. Doctor Who has not been renewed. Not for a next season, not for a spin-off, not even for a Christmas special. This isn't rumor, this is fact. And what happens next could determine whether the longest-running sci-fi show in history actually survives. His name is Tom Spilsbury. For over a decade, he was the editor of Doctor Who magazine, the official source of Whoniverse information. He's worked with every modern era of the show. He's been in the rooms. He knows the people. And when he speaks, fans listen. That's why what he said next shook the fandom to its core. I suspect the show will come back at some point, but as of right now, nothing is commissioned. Nothing is guaranteed. Those are the facts. Read that again. Nothing is commissioned. Nothing is guaranteed. This isn't speculation. This is someone who's heard what's really going on. And the worst part, he's not alone. The truth is, signs have been building for months. Season 15 ended with the most controversial regeneration in the modern era. Ncuti Gatwa turning into Billie Piper. A twist no one saw coming. But instead of marketing it as bold, new, and exciting, the BBC said nothing. No trailer, no press release, no hint of what Season 16 might look like, no interviews with the new Doctor, no tease of what comes next, not even a renewal confirmation. It's as if the series ended, but no one told us. And now Spilsbury's quiet confirmation confirms the worst. Doctor Who might not be officially cancelled, but the absence of a commission essentially amounts to the same thing. And it gets worse. According to Spilsbury, the show's financial future is in complete flux. Disney's licensing deal, the one that made headlines around the world, is about to expire. And Disney hasn't renewed. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Which means the BBC is about to face a terrifying choice: let the show die, or start shopping it to new buyers. Streaming platforms, international distributors, studios desperate to rebrand the brand. In Spilsbury's words, that process could take a fair bit of time. It may require more than one partner just to raise the money needed. Doctor Who has never needed a rescue mission. Until now. So what went wrong? It all started with the promise of a new golden age. Russell T Davies was back. Ncuti Gatwa was cast. Disney came on board. A bold, high-budget, globally distributed Doctor Who. A new era that would revive the brand and reach a whole new generation. And for a moment it worked. The specials broke records. The 15th Doctor was trending worldwide. The marketing was unlike anything Doctor Who had ever seen. But then came the backlash. Season 15 hit screens, and everything changed. The ratings plummeted. The reviews were mixed at best. The fandom fractured into civil war. Too much nostalgia. Too many returning villains. Too few answers. Episodes like The Legend of Ruby Sunday and Empire of Death divided fans like never before. Some accused the series of aiding its own tale. Others said it abandoned storytelling for spectacle. And the regeneration into Billie Piper, once seen as a potential game changer, was now viewed as a desperate stunt. Even former cast members began to speak out. Peter Davison, the Fifth Doctor, didn't hold back. They're terribly worried now about people's attention spans, he said. If something isn't happening every 2 minutes, they think people are going to turn off. I just find it almost like you're watching a trailer for a Doctor Who show you'd like to watch later. That line hit hard, because it echoed what so many fans were feeling. Doctor Who wasn't telling stories. It was stitching together moments. It became trailer television, flashing images, cameos, fan service, but no real soul. And by the time Billie Piper smiled into the void, many weren't clapping, they were confused. Behind the scenes, things were even worse. Budgets ballooned. Global partnerships became creative cages. The very deal that made Season 15 possible may have also made future seasons impossible. Here's how. Doctor Who's partnership with Disney brought money, but it also brought risk. The budget soared. The sets were lavish. The visuals were stunning. But that meant ratings had to justify the cost. And when they didn't, everything started to wobble. Spilsbury explained, yes, the BBC could go for the ultra-cheap in-house version of the show, but I don't think that's viable. The license fee simply hasn't kept up with inflation. Translation: Doctor Who might be too expensive to save, And now the future is in limbo. The BBC is waiting. Disney is silent. No one knows if season 16 will ever exist. There are whispers of new partners HBO Max, Netflix, Amazon Prime. There are whispers of a total reboot, new Doctor, new team, new timeline. There are whispers of a backdoor regeneration, where Billie Piper isn't really the Doctor after all. But none of that is real yet. And until a new commission is signed, until a new episode is officially greenlit, Doctor Who is on life support, and no one wants to admit it. This isn't the first time the show has faced cancellation, but it might be the quietest. No public outcry, no Save Our Show campaign, just silence. And maybe that's the scariest part, not knowing if it's over. Just knowing that right now, it isn't alive. If Doctor Who really has reached the end of the line, then the next question is the most dangerous of all: who replaces Disney? Because Russell T Davies and the BBC bet everything on this global partnership. The new era was built around Disney's money, marketing, and worldwide distribution. Without them, Doctor Who isn't just underfunded, it's unwatchable in huge parts of the world. So now, the BBC is left shopping the TARDIS, looking for a buyer, looking for salvation. And the list of potential partners, it's shorter and stranger than you might expect. Let's start with the most likely: Netflix. They've tried to acquire Doctor Who before. In fact, they were in talks years before Disney won the bid. They've even tested the waters with sci-fi of their own: Stranger Things, Three-Body Problem, One Piece. What Netflix offers is scale, global reach, brand recognition. They can pump money into prestige, but only if the numbers justify it. That's the problem. Doctor Who's season 15 didn't prove anything. The ratings were erratic, the fan reaction was unstable, and the Billie Piper twist, too confusing for mainstream audiences. Netflix may want the brand, but not the baggage, which means if Netflix takes over, we could be looking at a total reboot. Next on the list, Amazon Prime Video. Their strategy has changed in recent years. From The Boys to Fallout, they're investing big in genre IP. They have the infrastructure, the cash, the need to compete, but their one condition: control. Amazon doesn't just fund shows, they reshape them. Doctor Who under Prime would almost certainly mean a new showrunner, a full creative overhaul, possibly even a USC-based writer's room. Would the BBC agree to that? Would Russell T Davies stay? Would the next Doctor even be British? There's also talk of HBO Max. Yes, they've struggled recently, especially with the Warner Bros. Discovery merger, but their focus on prestige TV and genre content could make Doctor Who a bold crown jewel. There's only one issue: they almost did it already. In 2018, confidential reports suggested HBO was interested in co-producing Doctor Who, but the BBC declined. They wanted to keep control. Now, they may not have a choice. If HBO Max takes over, expect more serialized storytelling, fewer, longer episodes, more adult themes, and tighter narrative control. Think Andor, not the Star Beast. Would the fans accept that version of the show? Or is it already too late? But there's one possibility more shocking than all the others. A name no one wants to say. And yet, it's quietly being whispered inside BBC hallways: cancel it. Not officially, not loudly, but silently, through inaction. Let the contract lapse. Let the brand cool. Then, bring it back. Years from now, with a new team tune. A bold relaunch, like 2005. The quiet reboot strategy. The Doctor sleeps. Time moves on. And when the moment is right, he returns. It's worked before. It might work again. But what happens in the meantime? Doctor Who has always filled the gaps between seasons with spin-offs. Torchwood, Sarah Jane, Class, and now, there are two projects still in development, even if the main show isn't. 500: The War Between the Land and the Sea. A gritty UN-focused spin-off, first announced before season 15 aired. Rumored to focus on sea creatures, oil wars, and ancient Earth powers. No confirmed cast, no release date, no trailer. Is it real? Or was it quietly shelved during the Disney fallout? Ben 2, the preschool Doctor Who. Yes, really, aimed at toddlers. Rumored to feature a talking TARDIS and animated doctors. A possible cash grab. A possible brand preservation play. But no one believes it's the future of the franchise. The truth is, these spin-offs exist in a vacuum. Without the main show anchoring them, they're marketing without substance. They're placeholders. Echoes of a show that stopped moving. And then there's the regeneration. Billie Piper's return as the next Doctor should have been a seismic moment. The kind of twist that dominates headlines. That earns trailers, photos, and interviews. Instead, we got nothing. No set photos, no casting call for companions, no hints of story, no confirmation she's even staying, because she might not be. More and more insiders believe that Billie Piper's Doctor is not permanent. that her regeneration was either a temporary twist, a symbolic transformation, or part of a backdoor reboot that lets the show wipe the slate clean. Remember, Russell T Davies said he has no idea who she's playing. And that wasn't coyness, that was uncertainty. Doctor Who is no longer planning years ahead, it's waiting. Which brings us to the most haunting truth of all: no one's in charge. Russell T Davies may have returned as showrunner, but only under the Disney deal. With that deal ending, his future is unclear. Is he staying? Is he stepping back? Is he still the architect of the Woniverse? No one knows. And until that's settled, nothing else can move. Writers aren't hired, budgets aren't set, stories aren't pitched. Doctor Who is in narrative limbo. It's not alive. It's not dead. It's just waiting. So what should fans do? You can hope. You can speculate. You can argue. But the truth is, until a new commission is signed, until a streaming partner commits, until the BBC makes a public announcement, everything is rumor. Even the future. And maybe, in a way, that's fitting. Because Doctor Who has always been about uncertainty, about change, about chaos. And maybe, just maybe, the biggest twist of all isn't a regeneration. It's the show regeneration.